Yo, welcome back. Today's the day we're gonna get started on the Valkyrie. We got a bunch of parts in the mail from eBay or whatever. And then we also got super lucky. We met a really cool dude named Brandon out in kind of, I guess, Fresno-ish area, who also has a Valkyrie project that he's working on, like a bobber. So he had a bunch of spare parts. So we were super lucky that we were able to get a whole bunch of parts. A lot of the things that we needed, he wasn't gonna be using. So he was cool enough to hook us up. We got super lucky. So we're stoked. That moves the project along a lot faster because we're not waiting for all these things to come off of eBay or wherever, you know, you're ordering it online. So yeah, we can actually start some reassembly or at least mocking it up to see what's gonna look like what. I'd like to get the bike fully kind of back together, test ride it, see what's up with that, and then also be able to stand back and look at it with all of its parts back on to kind of get an idea of how we want to proceed with the paint or whatever we end up doing. So yeah, I've already started messing with it. The other day I ordered some bars off of eBay. They're just cheap 1-inch bars because these are 1-inch controls. But these bars were only like 70, 80 bucks. They're 12-inch kind of mini apes, but I think they fit good. So we put those on. Then I started kind of messing around with a Road King windshield because, you know, we have Harley parts. So it looks like it'll probably work with the mounts that were already on the windshield get up it had. And the only real difference is I'm gonna have to trim the plastic windshield to fit this big fatty headlight. So yeah, we're gonna get started on putting some of the things back on and finding hardware and figuring things out. In the parts, a lot of stuff that we got from them. We got a factory seat cover, so we're gonna try to reupholster the seat that we have because it's jacked up. So we're probably gonna put that back on. We got a full rear stock Fender. Got the passenger back seat, which we didn't have, strut covers, a whole bunch of goodies. Some bags even. Yeah. Let's get to it. All right, so I guess we'll start with the seat and trying to put this cover, which doesn't seem to be torn, onto this seat pan. And how we're gonna do that is we're gonna work around this whole thing, taking out all these staples. Then we will stretch this cover over it, and we will use the air stapler to put her back on, hopefully. So let's see how it goes. All right, well, in trying to put our new cover on, we've determined that our seats are a little different apparently, because that doesn't fit on here too well. So, I mean, this is the kind of thing that happens, is you think you got the parts you need or whatever, and you never know. So that's, I mean, either we'll order another seat, a used seat, or we'll find a seat cover that hopefully will fit the seat. This one's just a little too big. So, we'll move on to the next thing. All right, well, progress is moving a little slower than we thought. We thought we'd get a little more done. But if you'd seen in the previous videos, our back fender had been nicely bobbed by someone because, you know, they're not well made. They're kind of thin metal and they have a huge light and license plate assembly, which is mega heavy on this really thin fender. So I think this is pretty common because I looked on eBay and it looks like you can find these parts of the fenders in good shape. Fairly common because it's a little heavier gauge metal. These guys are so thin, they're all bent, man. And by the time I try to do body work to this and Bondo, it's so tinny, it's just gonna crack it off and it's gonna look terrible. So it's not really worth working to try to fix this. So since again, we have some parts, we had a Russ Weimarant fender. I don't know what model it is or whatever, but it's just kind of your basic 9-inch wide, fat tire, probably custom chopper fender. So we had to go to town with the grinder and do some trimming on that bad boy to be able to rotate it further forward. We're gonna work on drilling some holes, figuring out the bag mounts, and then probably just use some kind of like LED license plate mount with turn signals and tail light built into it that we'll just put back here. But, I mean, this is a new Fender, even though it looks rusty, that's just kind of how they come. But I think it's much heavier gauge too. So rather than try to rework this and paint it, we're just gonna make this happen. So we gotta get some hardware and some other things, and we'll get back to it and we'll kind of show you the results. All right, so let's do what we can do while waiting for the other stuff. Let's try to replace the fuel door with one that fits our new key set.
Where did we get this new key set?
eBay.
Oh.
It came with the gas cap, the seat, latch dealie, the ignition switch, and the port lock. All of them with the key.
We decided we didn't want to use the flathead screwdriver moving forward. It was worth the investment.
All right, we checked all our fuses here. A few of them were bad. Lots of wires piggybacked on them. Took all that out, put other ones in that we know that worked. Pulled the starter relay out. Says there's a 30 amp fuse behind it. What is that? No wonder you gotta use wires and stuff to start it. I mean, I still don't know what this goes to. We'll figure that out, but it doesn't have power going to it. But I'm thinking we're not starting off the switch because something ain't right in that situation. All right, let's find a 30 amp fuse. Okay. All right. Maybe we put some dielectrical grease on that sucker, huh? I'll kind of like clean that. When we get a new starter relay, we'll get some cleaner and clean that sucker out. For now, just put a little dielectric grease up in that sucker. That's probably sufficient. And we'll plug this back in and see if it blows that big old 40 fuse. I'd be really shocked if it friggin' worked because that sucker had been on fire. So we may turn the key and it may just pop. Nope. I didn't hear it.
Still nothing, huh?
Still got no action. And I'm wondering if our fuse isn't in all the way. Didn't pop it. But our starter relay could be very not good inside because this sucker been roasted. So, and it could be that one little wire that we've got off to something, I don't know. I didn't hear it pop. It's drawing power up there. You can see the light flashing. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking our relay is just toast. So basically, the power comes in, goes into the relay, comes out to the starter when it's triggered by this dealie here. So theoretically, I think if we jumper these guys together, we put in direct power to that starter. And if we do that, then I think either we know we got a problem here, and I've pinched a wire, or this relay's bad. Woo!
Do not try with that.
Well, it cranks. So I'd say our starter relay is probably the problem, because it was all melty. So we'll get one of those, and it's sparking and arcing crazy, so I think something's wrong in there. So we need a relay, and then we'll continue to look further. All right, well, it looks like we're at a stopping point for today. We appreciate you checking back with us. We got to order up a starter relay, get some hardware to actually mount the fender, and the motor mount bolts and some other things. So looks like we got some more stuff to order. Should be here in the next few days. We'll pick back up then when we can start trying to put it back together a little further. Thanks so much for hanging in there with us, guys. As always, leave us a comment. Let us know how things are going and what you think. Also, if you could subscribe, that would be rad. And like the video, we'd appreciate it. All right, well, from JC Cycle, we'll see you next time.